This is the coolest street legal supermoto that you can buy right now, and you've probably never heard of it. It's the Sherco 500SM.
It's got so much. Let's take a closer look at it.
So what are the quick specs of this bike? I'll throw them on the screen here. This is a Supermoto bike. It comes with 17s front and rear, as you'd expect. 5-inch in the rear, which is really dope. It means you can run a 160, 165 race slick if you want. KYB Fully Adjustable suspension, front and rear. That is factory Supermoto tuned, and that is a big deal. Sprung, it's valved, it seems to be lower just a little bit. This is a really trick thing that most people overlook. And I can tell you, once you've ridden some Supermotos with proper race Supermoto suspension, you'll realize what you're missing. Brembo radial mounted master with a 4-pot Brembo monoblock, a 478cc. Yes, it's not quite 500. 4-stroke water-cooled engine with a 6-speed transmission, electric start, all the proper specs that we would want. This bike also comes with 2 map modes on it, enduro and bats. And it's just like a no expense spared bike. I mean, it's got everything you'd want on it. The only Supermoto thing that I can see that it's missing is a slipper clutch. But what the heck is Sherco? Who makes that? Never heard of it, don't feel bad. They're not a very popular brand here. See, Sherco
is a French company. French. And their big thing is trials bikes, actually. So over the years, I've also gotten into some enduro bikes, 4 strokes, 2 strokes. And this is their own bike. This is not a KTM engine. One of the biggest questions I get about this is, isn't that just a KTM engine? No. Until KTM buys them, of course, and then turns them to KTMs.
What's it like owning a French bike? I mean, what do you need to know? To be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea. I don't know the secret handshake. Now, the bike is awesome to ride. The suspension's amazing. The brakes are amazing. It's pretty light. For people who think this doesn't work, we've tested this. This is within 1% accuracy. 133 pounds for the front. 143 for the rear. 276. I say this about every bike. No one knows what their bike actually weighs. You know, for instance, I had a 2013 WR450, basic Supermoto kit on it, minimal street legal stuff you could possibly put on it, like an extra wire going to the brake light. And it had a 3-gallon tank, which made it actually rideable on the street. How much do you think that bike weighed? A 2013 WR, 280 pounds, like about 283, 284, if I remember correctly. That's just the WR. This thing's got a 6-speed on it. It's a little bit bigger of an engine. It's only slight. You don't know what your bike weighs. I promise you. What I think you need to understand, though, is that this Sherco is not only a cool Supermoto on the market you can buy, it's also the only real Supermoto on the market you can buy.
We're gonna beat up on the DOHC here for a minute, a bike I owned and loved personally. Let's just say, for instance, your buddy called you up and told you he got a new 400MX bike, and he showed up on a DRZ. You'd be like, bro, that's not a motocross bike. Why are you calling your street legal dual sport a motocross bike? Well, that problem with Supermoto is Supermotos are a race bike. That is the distinction there. That's what that means. Something like a DRZ SM, calling it a DRZ Supermoto, is a little bit like calling a DRZ S a DRZ MX. This is a bike that comes from a racing background and has a motor, chassis, everything around it. It is for, well, for this case, for enduro racing. Now, they may have modified it a little bit. They may have done some things to it to make it streetable, but at the end of the day, you could put slicks on this thing and you could take that to the racetrack. It would be competitive. You could put a 16.5 front on it, like if you wanted to be ultra Supermoto-y with it, but you could do it. This is a race bike converted for street use. And there's nobody else on the market who actually makes one. I know you're gonna start crying to me. What about the KTM/Husky 450 Supermoto bike? That thing is bad. It's not street legal. Even if you were to buy that bike and try to make it street legal, it'd be quite a job, because you'd actually have to do a whole front end wheel swap, because it comes with a 16.5 front. Never get a DOT tire in 16.5. So much front brake on this. There's only one other person that I found after doing some digging that has another street legal Supermoto on the market, and that would be SWM with their 500. That's an interesting bike. That's the old Italian Huskies. There's a problem with that bike, is it's not homologated right now. This is the only real street legal Supermoto on the market. See, back in the day on the Supermoto forums and the message boards, people would hang that over other people's heads, and it was cringy. And people would be like, oh, hey guys, check it out, I just got my first Supermoto, I'm really pumped. And they like post a picture of a DRZ, and there would always be that person that would come in there and go, oh yeah, but that's not a real Supermoto, just so you know. But there is a point to it. Bikes that are like dual sports and true sort of race bike or enduro bikes are on a complete different level. I know they play in the same places, and it sounds weird, but unless you've ridden one of these, it's hard to understand. Yeah, it's more power, it's lighter, but there's so much just more visceralness and experience to riding one of these things.
Hello? Ah, yes. This is the glasses store?
Yes, sir. This is the glasses store. How can we help you?
Well, see, I do have a bit of a tricky thing I have to deal with. See, I wear a helmet when I ride, so I like to be able to have glasses that fit on me, but also could fit inside of my helmet.
I do have something for you there. These are what you're looking for, sir. These are called flying eyes. Look just like normal glasses, except incredibly flexible sides here. This lets it fit into your helmet very comfortably, still looking like a normal pair of glasses, feeling like a normal pair of glasses, honestly being more comfortable than a normal pair of glasses. Here, check them out. Those do fit nicely. Would I have to get 2 pairs then because I want a pair of sunglasses too? No, sir. We have these, and they come in several different colors. Here. Well, how do they attach? They use magnets, sir. Just simply get them close to your glasses and they will magnet. You do look like the coolest person on earth. I do feel like the coolest person in the world. I really like your shirt.
Well, sir, I'll take them.
You can't purchase them here. Look, this is an old torn down mall, but you can go to flyingeyes.com and you can purchase these using code JAKE10 to save 10% off. Link is in the description. Get yours today. I love the different things you can do with a Supermoto 2. Rip around the street, rip around parking lots, sewer wheelies, and then we can still come back here and explore stuff like this. What's that? This? It's a Sherco 500. Do you call it a DRZ? Oh, how dare you? I'm insulted. No, I'm just kidding. I like DRZs. I put 50,000 miles on one of those. Do you have one? Gotta show them, really. But since it is just a high-strung enduro machine, can it actually do highway speeds? Well, it does have a 6-speed, and I don't know, let's go find out. If you have a Supermoto and you're like, I want to commute and do highway riding every day, I'd say don't buy a Supermoto. Buy something else and buy a Supermoto for fun, because none of them are great at it. We're going 70 right here, barely on the throttle. We can get this thing up here. We're sucking wind here. I really just got on the power there for a second. It doesn't care because it just has so little weight and so much more power. I would say it's appropriately buzzy for a 450 500 bike. It would do the engine a little bit of favors if you got over and got in the slower lane, rode more in the 50s and 60s. It certainly will do highway. I took this bike out to Dallas the other day. That would have been about an hour on the highway. I put it in the truck. You know what I'm saying? It's just better. It's also the reality that this thing's gonna need an oil change a lot sooner. It feels like a waste to be sitting there on the highway on a bike that has high maintenance intervals. Your normal sort of sweepers like this, your sport bike style sweepers, you can do them. You can basically be going through these turns topped out. This thing wants like suggested 20s or under, cart tracks, parking lots. She certainly handles like a Supermoto. You can get it way leaned over. You can push this bike on its edge. It's not hard to deal with, you know. This thing could go right to the racetrack. Going over that paint will get you there.
As cool as that Sherco is, I gotta be honest with you. This whole thing I've been saying that it's the most bad street legal Supermoto and the only real street legal Supermoto, I've been lying to you. That bike is not homologated. It's supposed to be. Apparently has to do with California. What? No way. California's the coolest. The point is, right now it's not street legal. But here's where things are really cool. You see, Monkey Moto, that's the dealership this bike came from out here in Denton. They're a Sherco, Triumph, what do they got here? Envy, Augusta, they got a little bit of this and that. Now the bikes won't come plated from Sherco themselves, but you buy this bike from them, it will come with a plate. You can finance it, it's completely legal that way. And the reason they've done it is because they're into cool stuff here. That's the simplest way to explain it. Most dealerships are not gonna want to try to bother with this. They don't want to know how to do it. It's complicated, it's tricky, and it doesn't necessarily make them a lot of money. Most people are just gonna focus on quickly makes them money. But here, they're about cool stuff. You go in there and you look, they've got track bikes, they've got these little 50cc motard things that they're like modifying and selling. Super cool. I don't know who the market is for that. I doubt they're going to make any real money off those things, but why do they do it? Because they like cool stuff here. Now, obviously, it's Sherco's plan to get this thing legal. They want to, but who knows how long that's going to take. So get on down here to Monkey Moto and call Joe, hit him up, tell him Jake sent you. This bike, when they import it in, it doesn't have any emission stuff on it right now. It comes in a box, but It's not on the bike. That's the whole thing that you gotta understand. That's what makes this thing an insane deal. A fully done up Supermoto. The only thing left to do on it is what? Take the fender tail thing off the back. There's nothing else to do to it. All these bikes are choked up some way or another, unless you get like the enduro, you know, race bike. That's what this is as far as the drivetrain's concerned.
Now this thing may be 13 grand, right? I don't see a way to get a bike to this level with the suspension, the brakes, the tuning, the exhaust, at least 16 grand.
Monkey Moto, he said they figured it out. They're getting them legal. And it means in other states where you may not be able to play the dirt bike, it will be legal when it gets there. The only state I think is a problem is California. Now call them and ask them. Talk to my guy Joe.
You ride a bike like this around town, I mean, you just feel like you're on a weapon. The seat ain't comfortable anyway. It's a little buzzy, kind of beats you up a little. It's saying you, hey, I'm not meant to just be cruising around on. I'm meant to be having some fun on, you know? That's what I'm meant for. Simpson was a motorcycle, he'd be a Supermoto. So the fuel light just come on, and I swear I went like 3-4 miles and the thing was sputtering. I wonder if they got that set a little low on there. Let's see. It's supposed to be a 2.5 gallon tank. How much do you think I just put in it? No, it's not even quite 2. I asked my Discord to give me some Q&A questions about this bike, and here's what they came up with. Better than the WR450? Yes. What is the availability like? I have 3 around me. It's just gonna depend. Not a super common brand, but I try to go to a lot of the major cities, see, and a lot of them have at least 1 or 2. You live out in the middle of nowhere, it's something to think about. Is it more rev happy or torque monster? To me, it feels like it's hitting everywhere. Yeah, if you roll it out, it's got a bit more top end, but it really just punches hard right off the bottom. There's not really a wrong RPM to have it in. I'm gonna answer this as, does it vibrate? Yeah, but not like any more than you'd expect any other 450 to rev, 450 500s. Is it smart? Smart. This is for Chase on 2 wheels. I've never understood what that means. Question about oil capacity. I think it holds a quart and a quarter. Top end intervals, valve clearances. They're pretty regular from what I remember. I'll try to put that across the screen right here. There's a question here about the rear rim. It is a 5-inch. It's got a 150 on it right now. You could easily fit a 160. There's great clearance between the chain and the swing arm and the tire. Is this a Harley Davidson? No. Can it wheelie? Yes. Does it run? Yeah. It's a French motorcycle, but it mostly runs. How does it perform on the highway? It's just about the same as most 450 500s with a 6-speed. It's okay, but it's still not a thing you want to spend all day doing. A question about reliability and maintenance. Reliability is going to be one of those things it's hard for me to just know. Just having the bike as a quick demo. I think oil changes on this bike, I think they have it like 500 kilometers, which is like at 300 miles. That's insane. I doubt you have to do it that often. That's what technically the book says. If I own this bike, I would probably be very interested in doing some like oil analysis and seeing what that actually is like. Does it have stereotypical French build quality? I don't know a lot of French vehicles here in the US. We don't really get a lot of French stuff. My only thing I can compare it to is like a old French cars from Top Gear and them making fun of them, and I think the wiring's really bad, right, or whatever. So I don't really know. How big is the aftermarket support? Not only just specifically for that bike, but for the brand in general. I mean, there's not going to be near as much stuff as a Honda or KTM. I will say though, at least for this specific model, there's not a lot to do to it aftermarket wise, but there is some stuff out there. How's the gearing? Short, tall? It's actually a little tall, I'd say. I would consider almost going 2 up on the rear sprocket. A question about sort of availability of parts, like if you crash it on a trip. Now, this is not me trying to make an excuse for Sherco, but that's hard with any bike. If I'm on a trip with my 300L and I dump it and break a very specific part to that bike, and I go find the local Honda dealer, they're still most likely going to have to order that part in. They told me that the warehouse is in San Antonio. Probably can get parts just about as fast as I can get parts for like the 300L. How many pizzas can it hold? As creative as you can get. Can it fit in elevators? Most definitely. Can you hide it from the wife, or is it too big? No, you could hide it. It's not very big. That's some Q&A stuff. Thanks for the question, guys. Appreciate it. If you just want to ride a bike, chill through town, you certainly can. It's a great bike for that. You can be calm on this bike if you want, but you usually don't want to. like even 30 seconds without being a hooligan.
If you were ever in Collin Creek Mall, where am I? Look, I better get out of here before this building comes down on me or security comes and, you know, kills me to death. Go sure to check out the Patreon version of this video if you want to see the full version, ad-free, uncensored. Otherwise, we'll see you next video.
I think it's time to get out of here. Buy anything from the Disney store? French! I want this bike.